Hello.
Yay. Hi. Welcome to episode 6 of A Couple Queers.
Welcome.
My name is Keara.
And my name is LAVREN.
And we are a couple of queers. Damn right.
Yes. We're a married couple, neurodivergent, fun and slang.
Slay mamas.
Yes. And this is Willow.
This is Willow, our cat.
Say hi, Will. Yes. She just drooled on my pants.
Oh, yes, queen. Oh my God. She's been drooling on me a lot lately.
You have a lot of things to say?
Well, now she's demand avoidant.
Yeah.
She's like, now you're making me talk and I don't want to talk.
She knows that it's time for the podcast.
She does. She literally knows. She assumes her position A. Assume your position A. I've been in the kitchen and the room and the stick it up me in the living room. Here's your ticket A. Trust me, I am into pain. Let's try some new positions, baby. Here's a new position from the front. Front.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Doja Cat Gun, by the way.
Yes, I need a drink of my kombucha. I need 2 hands to open it.
We are drinking kombucha lately, y'all. Kombucha is the way. I also today saw an Instagram post that said drinking fermented foods when you're ovulating is like good for your gut. It was like this, like some sort of nutritionist who knows about hormones, like female hormones and like our cycles.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll send you like the screenshots of like what is good to eat on each phase of your cycle.
Is it because of the bacteria?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, like any fermented foods. So like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, stuff like that, and kombucha.
Ooh, I love kimchi. Willow, you okay, honey? Willow gets titties.
Yeah, Willow.
Twitches is what I'm saying.
Willow gets twitches.
When she has anxiety.
Yeah. Introducing today's topic. Today, we're going to talk about weed versus alcohol. I can't even say it. Weed versus alcohol. Yay! Our experiences with both of these substances and why we don't really drink much alcohol nowadays.
No, yeah. Like we've been drinking kombucha. We've been drinking a lot of non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
It's really good.
And
Right? I'm choking too.
what's going on? I can't even talk right now. What's going on?
Should we talk about like our experience with alcohol? Like, can we talk about like our backstories with alcohol?
God.
Like, when did you first start drinking? Why? Was there a reason? Was there something that you were like using it for?
Good question.
You wanna go first?
Good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started drinking, like my first drinking experiences were definitely like in high school, but like my party phase was definitely in college. I didn't know it when I was in it, but I was definitely using it to just get through it. And it was just like a good way to transition out of school mode, out of like athletic mode, because I played soccer in college. So it was kind of just a good way to kind of just like not think about things. And I used it a lot. Now I realize to unmask because I'm autistic and ADHD. So it helped me be more myself around other people.
Yeah.
And I realize that now that I'm 27, turning 28 in a few months.
Ooh.
My Saturn has returned. When I turned 27, everything started to change. That's so true. Casey said it first. Yeah, and recently I've just discovered that alcohol, when I drink it, gives me a lot of anxiety. I have a hard time sleeping. I've also, because I partied so hard in college, I don't have any desire to do that now.
Fair
I'm a little
enough.
burnt out from it. And honestly, I think that just comes with aging and like just like reflecting and being like, okay, like what was the reason? And I noticed it. And also it was like, we had fun. Like I had a lot of fun with like my friends. It was also that sort of thing. There was a lot of things behind it. There were some good times and there were some like times where I was like, oh, like I definitely did that to cope with something.
Absolutely.
Which I have with cannabis as well. But so yeah, that's kind of like my background. I also have experience with having like an alcoholic person growing up. And that also has impacted me a lot now that I've kind of unpacked my childhood. And that kind of also is kind of making me be like, you know what? Like after seeing that person and seeing what it did to them, I'm like, ooh, like I don't really care much for it anymore. I don't want to mask things. I don't want to like cope things over, and I want to be able to unmask without it. And so that's where I'm at this point.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I relate to that. I also, at one point in my life, lived with an alcoholic, and that is...
It changes you. It changes your perspective.
It changes your perspective on alcohol and on people, and...
Also allows you to have kind of, like once you get older, I don't know if you can agree, but you can have more empathy. Because you're like, damn, like life is hard. Like I see why you did. Like,
For sure.
Sometimes life's so much and you don't know how to cope with it. And so you turn to something and like we're humans, like it just happens. But
yeah. It's very normalized in this culture and it is the way it is. But for me, so growing up, I was always surrounded by alcohol, but in a like very cultural way. So my family's Italian and we always had wine at dinner. Like it was just a very normal thing. And so I was like exposed to alcohol like from a young age, not in a bad way, but just like, oh, it's a thing. It's around, it's a thing. So I never really felt like, oh, like I really need to do this. Like I need to like, you know, go hard into this because I was just like, it's just been around.
Yeah.
And so like I remember when I was 12, I think, my grandpa, my nono, was like, you want to try a glass of wine? And I was like, okay, sure.
Aww.
And like I tried it and I was like,
yeah.
Ew.
White or red?
Red.
Oh.
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Never give me that ever again. Fast forward to the pandemic. I was a complete wine mom.
Oh.
We both were.
Yeah.
And my mom, my actual mom.
Like, we didn't know what to do.
Me and Lauren and my mom all lived together. I don't know if you've ever seen the series on my YouTube channel called Quarantine. It's like a little
based off of a true story.
Based off of a true story. That was it was a chaotic time, but it was fun.
Something came out of it. And I feel like we all got closer. Like we all kind of trauma bonded.
We really did.
You know?
We 100% did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where, you know, I actually recently realized that I think that I am intolerant to alcohol. I have an alcohol intolerance.
How did you know?
So I was just on YouTube and I came across a Emma Chamberlain Anything Goes episode.
Love her.
Of her podcast. Love her so much.
Love her.
And the title was Why I'm Going Sober. And I was like, oh,
okay.
Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, I want to know why. Because I had already, like, at that time been, like, just weaning off of alcohol, like not drinking it as often as I used to. And anyways, she said that she has an alcohol intolerance, and I really resonated with like the traits and the symptoms that she was experiencing. I was like,
what were they?
Oh shit. The major thing is that when I drink, I get like really red, hot, and flushed in my cheeks and my ears. My whole face gets like burning up, basically.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Like kind of like a rash.
And you always ask me, you're like, is my face red?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
Even after one drink of alcohol, I'm like flushed, red, hot, like kind of don't feel well.
Yeah.
And like nauseous at night. Like I get nauseous even if I wasn't drunk, even if I had like a couple drinks and then I'm going to bed. Like normally people aren't nauseous from that.
Do you have trouble falling, like sleeping?
Yeah.
Me too.
I would like wake up in the middle, like I could probably fall asleep easy, but then I wake up in the middle of the night like so nauseous, like sick to my stomach, about to throw up.
Aw.
And then I'm like, that's so weird because I just had one beer or I just had like a couple glasses of wine. Like, what's going on? Like, that's usually people are okay with that.
Yeah, for the most part. It depends on the
your
person.
body. I think it depends on how your body metabolizes alcohol. Mine just doesn't like it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to my body or try to.
Yeah, I actually like saw something the other day that was like every 7 years, all of the cells in our body have died and new ones have begun.
Whoa.
And so we actually like are like new physical like beings. And I think that also goes for like they say that about taste buds.
Oh,
I used to fucking
true.
hate tomatoes and now I like them.
And olives, you didn't like olives.
I hated olives. I like them now. I read that and I was like, oh, and so that makes sense. Like if our bodies did accept it at one point and now they don't.
Yeah.
Because like it's been 7 years since I've been in college and I had my party phase and now I'm like, oof, like I can't take a shot of vodka. Like,
yeah,
I can't really do shots. Like, please give me, if like I do drink, I'm like one beer. Like that's it. Like I need like a low alcohol like percentage.
For sure.
And wine. Like but I can only do like one glass of wine.
Yeah.
Or else like, yeah, I have trouble sleeping at night. So I feel you on that. Was there any more like side effects or was it, excuse me, this kombucha made me burp. Or was it just like the flushing and the nauseousness and the trouble sleeping?
Yeah, flushing, nausea, trouble sleeping, like burping it up at night. And it's weird because when I was younger, like a teenager, I didn't have that. Oh, well, I had the flushing. But maybe my body was like more used to alcohol. So like I didn't really, now my body's not used to metabolizing it. So now even if I have a little bit of it, it's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it threw me off when, so one of Keara's plants had these white bugs and they were like, kill them with alcohol.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, wait, we drink this? And I'm like, wait, is this bad to drink? Like, cause it's killing bugs.
No, I know.
I thought that for a sec. I was like, hold on.
Well, also like we disinfect wounds with it. Like we use it, like it's at a certain percentage, it's actually a poison.
Wow.
That would actually kill us.
Damn. Oh yeah, there's a such thing as alcohol poisoning.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or if you drank like, the stuff that you clean your wounds with.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Anyways.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I don't want to demonize anything and I don't want to say that something is bad or good, but I think it's just cool to hear people's perspectives on certain things and to share our perspectives. Because I think also like, alcohol is really normalized. Like it's a social thing.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's like we said in the beginning, like we understand why people drink it and everyone has their vice, everyone has their thing. And like if that's your thing, like especially growing up with an alcoholic, like I have a lot of empathy for not even just alcoholics, but people who drink alcohol. Like I have a lot of empathy and like I understand and like, yeah, like not like judging anyone who drinks alcohol, but yeah, it's cool to like see the different perspectives.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like no judging over here. Like if you want to drink it, like drink it. Like it tastes like, I'm not saying like it tastes bad, but it tastes like some of it tastes good. Like the beer tastes good. Like wine, like yeah.
I also think like it can be, it can definitely like help with people with social anxiety to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning it or like recommending that you do that, but I'm just saying like it, we've both noticed in like the neurodivergent ADHD autism communities, like addiction is actually really prevalent.
Yeah.
Especially with alcohol and to soothe your social anxiety.
Yeah, I don't know what study I read, but there was a study that said they talked to like this like rehab facility. I don't know where, and this percentage could definitely be wrong because I do not remember what the study was, but it said like up to 40%, I think, were neurodivergent that were recovering.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big percentage, and I can see how that can happen. Like
I 100% know why, because if you don't know, I'm autistic and Lauren is ADHD.
which is autism and ADHD.
Yeah. And I think that like in the past, I've 100% used alcohol to soothe my social anxiety and like help me be in, you know, loud, busy places and talk to people. Like it's been really helpful in that way. And I totally understand why it helps so many people in that respect. To, you know, quote unquote fit in or just be able to be in those spaces.
The fitting in thing is huge because like everyone, like when you get into your 20s, the thing to do is like, hey, do you guys want to go grab a drink?
It's the thing.
It's literally the thing. Like, thankfully, like we live in a big city. There's a lot of things that are now open or like we're just now discovering that's like, there's tea places, board game places, like stuff like that, which is really nice. But a lot of the time it's like, hey, like let's go grab a drink.
Yeah, let's go to the bar.
Yeah, and like it's just the thing to do.
Yeah,
like from your like 20s and 30s, I feel like that's just like the thing.
Yeah, it's like once you become not a kid anymore, it's like that's your way of having fun with people.
Yeah, and like
Interesting.
It's really interesting. Like I'm so happy that there's more spaces now that are like becoming like they have a lot of non-alcoholic options at places. So what we've been doing is when people are like, hey, like do you want to go out and do you want to like get a drink, like we just go because 10 times out of 10 basically, like especially in our city, like there's always a non-alcoholic option, whether that's a mocktail, whether that's a non-alcoholic beer, whether that's a non-alcoholic wine, champagne, like stuff like that,
kombucha.
Yeah, a lot of the times like it could be only like one choice,
right?
But like it still ends up being like good.
We're lucky that we live in a big city that has that. And also at the LCBO, which is the place you buy alcohol in Canada, or in Ontario, they have non-alcoholic beers and options. Wines and
lots of stuff.
Which is good.
Yeah, and it's nice because the cans and the look of it still looks like a drink. So you still feel like you're involved in a part of like the activity. But you can still drive home.
Period. We love driving home. Being able to drive home is amazing. Being able to like, you know, first of all, bring a car is awesome. And then like sleeping at our own place, like going home.
Waking up and not feeling like shit the next day.
Waking up and
that's
feeling
incredible.
Good. Yeah. Like so many good things. But that's not to say I won't enjoy, you know, a wine, a beer, a cider here and there, but it's just something that I've noticed that I'm going to be more mindful of because my body just doesn't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't like it. And
I think I haven't been drinking for about I've had the occasional like you said, like beer and glass of wine, maybe like once a month. But like for the most part, like I've been doing non-alcoholic for probably 3 months now. And my like body has felt so like I have more energy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's great. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really interesting to see like my body changing as I'm not doing that. Which I also have been like leaning off of cannabis as well, which brings us to the other point. In this conversation.
Yeah. So weed, like, okay,
we
first
kind
of all,
have the same cannabis journey.
Yeah, we kind of do.
Yeah.
And first of all, these two substances, you really can't compare them. Like they are super, super different. And
they are.
Like, I feel like probably the two substances that have been the most prevalent in both of our lives, I want to say.
100%. Definitely cannabis more often now.
Cannabis now, for sure. Like,
but yeah, no, they both have been really, really present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we both of us kind of started smoking weed at the same time, like regularly.
Yeah.
Probably 2021 or 2 during the pandy, but like a little bit later.
2021, I'd say, yeah.
2021, 2022.
When we moved to the, you know.
That one apartment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I feel like when I first like came across cannabis, first of all, I was in high school and my friend was just like, hey, you want to like smoke weed? And I was like, okay, cool. And like, it was just like a wild time. I was just like, laying on the kitchen floor of my friend's house laughing.
Aw,
And
that sounds fun.
It was fun, but I didn't really get into cannabis until like my 20s for sure. And I actually felt like it was really, really beneficial, especially at the start, because I almost felt like I needed to get out of my head and see things from a different perspective, because I was really struggling with my mental health during the pandemic.
Or are we back to 2021?
Back to 2021.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm flopping around, but
It's okay.
I feel like it actually sparked my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
I don't know about you, but it allowed me to access kind of a different state of consciousness that I wasn't normally at. And that's what it does, right?
I'd say yeah for me as well. It allowed me to like gain different perspectives.
Yeah, and also connect to my intuition more, actually.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. 100%.
And also help me cope with living downtown in the crazy hustle bustle. Like, you know, that was kind of my coping for that.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a lot.
I needed that during that time. I was also realizing that I'm autistic and realizing, holy shit, I live downtown in a city and I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, one of the only ways that I could like feel a little bit better is like smoking weed. And I don't regret that. I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I had that. And I'm really appreciative to the cannabis plant, because it is a healing medicine. I really truly believe it's a medicine.
Yeah. It's like I said, like everyone has different vices at different times in their life, you know, and like cannabis.
I don't even think it was a vice.
Vice. What does vice mean? Doesn't vice mean like just something to lean on?
It's like a bad habit, basically.
Oh, oop.
That's what a vice means.
Oh no, that's not what I mean.
I didn't see cannabis as a vice, but I saw it in the beginning as really helpful. But then I realized that I didn't need to be smoking it every night anymore, but it became a habit. It did become a habit. And it ended up giving me more anxiety than it was benefiting me. And that's when I had to look at it and like take a step back and be like, okay, whoa, like let's be more intentional about this. Like, let's have an intention when we smoke or use cannabis, because also like whatever you believe about the thing that you're going into is going to affect your experience with it. So if you're going into it being like, oh my God, I need this right now, I'm so anxious, like it might give you more of that anxiety.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like, wait, back to vices. I did not mean vice. I meant like everyone has their thing that they need to help them through this life.
Okay.
That's kind of what I meant by that. Like,
okay.
And you have different things throughout your life at different points.
I think it can become definitely a habit that might be negatively affecting you. Depends on the situation and the person, though. I think it could be a vice, but I also think it could be good. And I think it depends. Again, it depends on the person.
Yeah, definitely. But back to what you were saying, I kind of had the same journey. Something that I learned using cannabis is that when I really needed it, I was a very like low vibration, feeling really low, really down. And it kind of uplifted me
100%
to its kind of frequency and vibration, because cannabis is like a really high vibration. And even though like I would still smoke it even when I was anxious, because honestly, like it kind of helped me get through the anxiety. Like, and I kind of had to trust it and that's just like experience with using it is like when I would get anxious and then I would smoke and I would get more anxious, I'd be like, okay, like what is this? Or maybe like I had to have that panic attack to get me through it. Or like
let's get into it. Let's actually like go into the fear. Let's go into the anxiety. And that's kind of what cannabis does. It like it makes you face your demons. It makes you face the shit that you've been burying. Like it literally brings up all the subconscious stuff, which is that's why I'm saying it's healing. Like it can be really healing.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think definitely like having like an intention going into it for sure is how your trip's gonna go.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have an intention, like and you're anxious, like sometimes like we're anxious when we're getting ready to smoke and we go, honestly, like I just want to let go of whatever's giving me anxiety. And what that usually means is, okay, like, here is what you're anxious about and work through it. Like from like a cannabis helping perspective. And I think there are a lot of like, I know I was like this, like I didn't know what I was getting into when I would say that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I just want to let go of this. Like, I just want to have like, I just want to be happy. And then like, little did I know is that trip was going to be like really dark because like, I have to like think about what is making me anxious in order to let go of it.
Exactly.
And so like, just having all of those experiences, and there was a lot of trips like with the hard hitting, like this is what you're anxious about. And I think that's why like I now feel comfortable smoking when I'm anxious because I know that I can get myself through it. But I feel like those trips a lot of the times, like I've heard multiple people tell me that those trips have made them not like it, and that's so valid.
That's valid. Like also if you're not ready, and if you're not ready to face those things, then it could really turn you off of cannabis. You could be like, holy shit, like I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, because like a lot of the times it tells you the stuff that's like in your subconscious, and you're like, oh my God, like I'm still like traumatized by this thing that happened to me when I was 9. Like, oh my God, like I forgot about that. Now I remember it, and now I have to deal with it even when I'm sober after like not being like high. And so it's a lot to deal with. It can open up a lot of doors to healing trauma. But again, I do think sometimes like if you do have a like speaking from my personal experience, like if I did have a big trip that was like, okay, this is what I'm anxious about, and it brought up a trauma, I had to take a break from cannabis to like really kind of like break it down
for sure,
so that I wouldn't just keep uncovering a lot of things, because that can become also kind of a dark cycle. And I feel like I would start I have ended up starting feeling hopeless. Because I'm like, oh my God, like there's so many things. Like
I know.
And so I'm like, okay, I need to take a break. Because I need to uncover what was like taught to me during this trip, and I can't take on anything else.
And you need to process things.
And I think that can also kind of lead people away from it, and that is also so valid. I just wanted to like really make that as a point, is like if you don't like cannabis, that's so valid. Like it's it's like it's not for everyone. Intense. Just like alcohol is not for everyone, right?
Period. Yeah, you fucking hit the nail on the head there.
Thank you.
Talking about like how it can be a healing modality, but then it can actually become almost like an addiction of like, oh my God, I need to heal more, and I need to heal more, and I need to be perfect, and I need to, you know, uncover everything. But it's like, whoa, like you got to give yourself some time.
You have to let your body like kind of catch up, and your mind catch up. Like you have to let your body and mind catch up, like with your spiritual self. Because your spiritual self could be like, oh, this happened when I was 9. You know what? Let's like hug my younger self. Like we're okay, we're safe. Really practice that. But like our mind and our bodies might still feel really unsafe. And so we kind of have to let that kind of catch up.
For sure.
Because if we keep uncovering things, like you said, like that can become like addictive as well, to be like, ooh, like I want to be the best person that I can be. Let's uncover all my traumas. And that's like, oh my God. Like,
and it's not a bad
gonna, like,
sentiment.
Faint if I have to uncover all my traumas at once. Like that's too much.
It comes from a good place, but it's also like there's this one song by Tori Jones, and it's called Healing Is Not My Purpose.
Oh.
And I don't know why that song just came to me.
I've never heard that song.
Yeah, you have. Oh. It's a spoken word. It's almost like a poem, but it's a song. So it's like a rap. Anyways, look up Healing Is Not My Purpose by Tori Jones. And she kind of just talks about like, I release like the societal need inside of myself to keep perfecting myself, because I am already enough, and I am already healed, and I'm already perfect, and I'm doing my best. And I don't need to act like I'm the most evolved fucking person on this planet right now. Like, you know, I think there can be toxicity in like the spiritual community, in that like, oh, I'm better than you because I've healed all my traumas. Or like, you know, there's people out there that like believe that they're better than you because they're more spiritually advanced. And like you're on this planet to fucking enjoy enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like you do not need to be constantly healing.
Period. And I also think like I'm a big believer on like, say if you do want to heal and like really like heal through your traumas, I'm a big believer on like you don't necessarily need to know what that trauma is. It's just like, okay, recognize the feeling. Okay, for example, a feeling of not feeling safe. Okay, I don't feel safe. Well, I don't need to know why I don't feel safe, but let's reassure myself that I am safe.
Yeah.
And like really picture, like I picture me hugging my younger self and like being like, you're safe now. And like I don't necessarily need to know all of the things that happened to me when I was young that made me think that I'm not safe.
Yeah.
I don't want to know them.
You don't need to rehash
No.
all of like relive that stuff all the time to heal it.
No. So it's like just like reminding, just like focusing on like, you know what? I don't feel safe right now. Recognize it. That's number one thing. And then the second step is to be like, you know what? I'm safe now. Look where I am. Look in this present moment. That's not happening anymore. Or like whatever this feeling is, like it's not happening. I'm safe. I'm here. That's just an example, like of like something to work. Like if you're, if you're wanting to heal, you don't need to know exactly what the trauma is. Just like help your like subconscious mind know that like whatever it is, it's okay now.
Yeah, you're safe now for sure. And
that's hard to do. Like it takes time. Like it takes a lot of time.
And there's also so many healing modalities you could do, like for example, like somatic practices, body focused practices like yoga, where you can release tension and traumas from your body without necessarily having to identify what those traumas are.
Right.
So yoga's been like a really helpful thing in that, because
for sure.
Yeah, it's more so like working with your body and getting that stuck energy, because energetic stuff manifests as physical tension in your body.
Oh, we know.
Oh, we know.
We know.
So like, yeah, like working on your healing through somatic practices, I recommend.
Yeah. And cannabis really helps to maybe get you to like kind of get into the habit of again, it's different for everyone, but in my experience, it helped me kind of get into the practice of really prioritizing myself and realizing, oh, like I'm just a cute soul that's worthy of everything, that is so lovable, and I am made out of love. Cannabis really taught me that.
It fucking does. And it actually helps me be more present and conscious and aware. So like, you know, if you pair cannabis and yoga, highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's a healing practice because it helps you get in touch with your body, how your body feels, how your energetic body feels.
Also, I want to talk about how, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
It's okay.
For interrupting. I wanted to talk about how not every strain is meant for you.
Oh, yeah.
For example, I can't smoke sativa. I really can't. Like any strain of sativa makes me anxious.
Fair.
Or if it's a high percentage in THC, like it'll kind of like, it will help me. I'm thinking of Amnesia Haze. Like it'll like help me, but it'll get me too high to a point where I'm like, I can't do anything. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. I want to be able to do things. Like that's my personal like thing that I want to do. But like that's like a similar thing for alcohol and weed. The similarities is like someone could have a drink of wine and they're like, ooh, I hate that. But then they have a drink of beer and they're like, ooh, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Whereas like also with weed, it's like, oh, I really don't like sativa. I've tried multiple, don't like them, but I love indica. And so it's like that's a similarity between them, is like kind of not like judging a book by like not judging all of them like
as the same.
Because they're all different.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be educated on the strain of weed that you have,
the percentage, the terpenes in it.
Like I highly recommend, like if you are wanting to delve into it, know what you're consuming. Same with alcohol. Know what you're consuming.
Yeah, so we are lucky enough to be living in Canada. Probably should have mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's legal.
Yes.
Cannabis is legal.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of dispensaries that we can go to, and they're called like bud tenders.
Yeah.
Is the people who sell it, and they're there to answer any question that you have, and they're there to like literally guide you to have the time that you're looking for. And they'll educate you on like the percentage, the balance between THC and CBD, which I want to talk about CBD as well. Personally, like we've done percentages that are like high and low, and I love like a 22%.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I like a hybrid. I like an indica. I like an indica dominant hybrid.
yeah.
There was a time when I was a sativa girly, but now I just needed to like chill the fuck out my nervous system.
Yeah.
Because sativa can sometimes like upregulate my nervous system, and that's not what I need all the time.
Yeah. And talking about CBD, fucking love it. CBD, from what I know, will not get you high. You can
It's
also
the non-psychoactive
like,
element of the cannabis plant.
yeah. And like I use it a lot to help joint pain. Going to how we do cannabis now, a lot of the times we just do it as a transition tool to be like all the autistic transition girlies.
Where you at? Yeah.
So being autistic and ADHD might have to do with this, but I'm not as educated on ADHD with transitions, but autism for sure. A lot of us have a hard time with transitioning from something to something. Like for example, work mode to rest mode. And a lot of the times we have to find something that will help us transition, or else I'm going to think about work all the fucking time.
Exactly.
So lately, well, we're kind of easing off of it because we noticed that we were kind of relying on it too much. But we were using cannabis as a transition tool from work mode to rest mode and spending time with each other mode.
I still do, but not every day.
Yeah.
We're
kind of doing a tea break low key.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like a non-cold turkey tea break.
Yeah.
Like for me, my main thing, like lately, update.
Tea break means tolerance break, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing lately is I want to be able to fall asleep without cannabis. Because I think that I would only be able to fall asleep and sleep throughout the night if I smoked cannabis that night.
Relatable.
So I've just been like, okay, like I want to figure out how I can get my sleep routine back to its normal rhythm.
Yeah, I
without
feel that.
cannabis. And obviously cannabis is still great for falling asleep for sure. But I noticed that like daily exercise really helps with falling asleep.
Yeah, just like figuring out ways to regulate your nervous system.
Yeah.
Helps you sleep really good at night, I've noticed.
Yeah, because if your nervous system's all like hyped up, like I've noticed that I'll wake up every fucking hour. Aww. Like wake up, go back to sleep.
That's not fun.
Wake up, go back to sleep. Yeah. That was me for a while when I was trying not to rely on cannabis for sleeping. And it is like there is an adjustment period, but it does get better. If you're doing this, it does get better.
Yeah.
Promise.
Yeah.
This week, I think is the first week I've actually been able to sleep well without cannabis.
Yeah, I think I only smoked twice this week, and it's Sunday. I've been able to sleep throughout the whole night too, which is I've also been trying to do that more. I will say, like, back to CBD, that if you don't feel like getting high to go, like, to help fall asleep, CBD really helps.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
It really helps to feel relaxed as well.
Yeah.
And without the trip.
Yes.
Like you just like feel it like a little, like you feel it.
Your
like,
body feels relaxed.
You just feel really
That's
relaxed.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Your body just feels really relaxed.
Yeah. And it helped me.
Your mind.
I had a lot of joint pain, and it helped me until like my joint pain was too much, and like the whole relaxing thing made it really hard to move, which made my joints hurt more when I moved. But it helped me a lot in the beginning, and it's been helping me a lot now as well. Like we ran out, but I was kind of easing off of THC and doing more CBD to kind of help me sleep. That also helped me transition out of THC.
There's also edibles.
Yeah, we're doing edibles too.
Edibles versus smoking. So different.
So different.
So different.
Beverages versus smoking edibles.
Like
so different.
In Canada, we have cannabis beverages that you can buy, and it's a different type of high than an edible, like a gummy, for example, because it's filtered through your liver instead of your stomach. So like depending on where it's filtered through, if you're smoking it, it's like going up. It's through your lungs, right? Mm-hmm. So depending on where it's going through in your body, it gives you a different feeling.
Yeah, I know people who hate the smoking feeling, but they love the edible feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like
edibles gives you more of a body high.
Yeah, you're more relaxed, I'd say. Well, it depends on the person. Like it literally depends on the person.
I know.
Yeah.
For real.
That's just how it goes. Like with like alcohol and weed, like it all depends on the person. Like it depends on what you want, what your intentions are, what you want to like do. I did want to say something of like, I was talking about this with a friend the other day, is like I said, I did say earlier that weed has a certain vibration. And then like when I started smoking, it was like, it helped boost my vibration. And then I realized once, like there comes a time where I was met at the vibration of cannabis. And that's when it started, like when I would smoke, it would give me like so much anxiety. And that's when I had to stop, because it was like, oh, like I've matched this vibration. I like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Your vibration has actually surpassed the vibration of cannabis, so that smoking cannabis actually lowers your vibration.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say?
Kind of. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think that's also important to know. And you honestly only realize that if you've been smoking like regularly for a long time.
For a while.
You notice that.
Yeah.
Like a couple months, probably, at least. I'm stimming with your song. Sorry. I thought it was my own foot for a second.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, was that Willow? Like, what was going on?
It's me. I'm playing with your song.
This is, wow, okay.
We could go on and on and on about this, but maybe we can make another episode, because I feel like we have talked a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to reiterate that like whatever you do with your life, whatever things that you're doing or whatever, like honestly, like you got to get through this life, and you got to like, life is hard sometimes, and you got to do things, and like
no shame.
It's all a learning experience.
Yeah. No shame in whatever you do to cope, or whatever you do to have fun, or whatever you do to get through your day. If
we've done both alcohol and cannabis.
Yes. If it's getting you through your day, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's helping you to, you know, do your daily tasks, and you know, all the power to you.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and be like, this is bad or this is good. You should do this. Like,
right.
But yeah.
Like we've been like emphasizing, like everyone's different. Whatever you got to do, you got to do. And who is someone to judge someone else? Because they're not that person. What if that person needs that right now? You know what I mean? So
I think it's just good to have awareness out there, and to know of people's experiences with things, to know, oh, I'm not alone in this. Like, this is how I feel too. Or maybe it's like, oh, that's an interesting perspective. Like, maybe I'll look at it that way. This is all just like for educational purposes.
Yeah, just so like you can get to know our experience, more about us as well.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to tackle next on the pod.
Yeah, I love talking about stuff like this, because I feel like the more people talk about their experiences, the more people can relate to others.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be such a taboo subject. Like,
yeah.
And it's not, because everyone fucking drinks. Okay, not everyone, but like the majority drink, and like so many people smoke weed, and so many people just don't have anyone to relate to.
And some people are curious about both of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely be of legal age. Make sure it's legal in your country. Get it from a safe source, whatever it is.
Yes.
Talk to others who have done it. Do your research before
educate
doing
yourself.
anything.
Educate. That's like the number one thing that we can stress is educate yourself.
Yeah, educate yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. We love you.
Love you guys.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yay.
And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, morning,
week.
whatever is going on.
Yeah, and see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.